Yo guys, so we have college football Saturday. I got another 4 picks for you guys in this video that we're going to hop into very shortly. First, before we do, look at your screen right now. If you guys live in any one of these yellow states on this map right here, I am going to try to help you guys turn $100 into over $1,300 in this video without using any of your own money. So basically a risk-free $100 to $1,300 parlay in this video. So we got a banger to get into. First, before we do, make sure to drop a like on this video. It's free, takes 1 second. It just helps me out so much. I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get 400 likes would be incredible on this video. So thank you guys so much for the constant love and support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Either post these free pick videos for you guys every single day. So make sure to subscribe to miss any of the future videos. Now, with that being said, we're going to talk really quick about how to get the $100 for free that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. And that's going to be right here on the Parlay Play app or the Sleeper app right here. So both of these apps will be linked down below in the description of this video. Go down there, download the apps. They're both basically the same thing anyway. It's going to ask you right away if you have a promo code. Make sure to type in code GHOST before you deposit. So as long as you have code GHOST locked in on those apps before you deposit, they will give you a $100 deposit match. Sleeper will also give you a 0.5 free square, which is awesome. And we're going to talk about it more throughout the entire video. But Parlay Play right now has the best payouts specifically for football out of any app out there. I've used them for over a year, and I'm still yet to see another app that has bigger payouts than them. Their payouts, and again, we're going to talk about it more in this video. I'm going to show you guys is absolutely stupid, and anyone that's on Parlay Play already knows that, but we're going to hop into that more throughout the video. But again, make sure to use code GHOST. It takes maybe 5 minutes to get on these apps. Again, you can get up to like $200 for free. Takes 5 minutes to do, and it's the best advantage you guys can have. So you can take that $200, use it today on Saturday, use it on NFL Sunday, do whatever you want with the free money, but it's free money for you guys. You just have to make sure to use code GHOST. So with that being said, let's hop into the 4 picks I got for you guys right now, and we're going to actually go on Parlay Play as well during the video, and we're going to be building this slip on Prizepicks and then quickly just show you on Parlay Play the payout towards the end of the video. But let's get into this first pick. First pick of the day. We're going to be going to this SMU versus TCU game, and it should be an absolute shootout. The over-under is like 63 or 64. I'm so excited for this game. If you guys watched the SMU Baylor game earlier this year, it should look something like that. And that game was like a 40-43 overtime shootout. Absolutely insane. I think it went to like double overtime. That game was maybe my favorite game to watch this entire year, other than maybe Georgia, Tennessee. But with that being said, the first play we're going to go to in that game is going to be Jordan Dwire. Now, this is the leading receiver for TCU this year. You can see he's been going stupid the first 2 games of the year. He has 136 yards and then basically 90 yards in the second game. He's the leading receiver in targets. He has 17 targets in the first 2 games of the season. Now you have him going up against SMU, which, like I just mentioned, the game against Baylor was a shootout because SMU's passing defense is very, very bad this year. TCU is expecting to throw a lot in this game. They'll probably have 40, 50 pass attempts just like Baylor did. If you don't know who their quarterback is, he's one of, if in my opinion, he is the most underrated quarterback in the entire country. That is Josh Hoover. The dude's an absolute stud. His line for this game is 320 passing yards, and it would not shock me at all if he goes well beyond that and well over that, probably 350 plus. That would not shock me at all. So with that being said, if I think the quarterback's going to throw for 320 plus yards in this game, Jordan Dwire, the leading receiver who gets 8 to 9 targets every single game, should be able to go over 80 yards in this game. I thought he was going to be coming into the weekend 85, 90 receiving yards. He's just been bouncing around 82 to 79 receiving yards throughout the last like 24 hours and so. So I'm getting him at exactly 79 and a half right now, which is really good. Try to get it right now while you can at 79. Wouldn't shock me if that line bumps. But again, in a shootout game like that, I think there's going to be a lot of passing yards between both teams. I think Josh Hoover should have a really good day here, and I do think Jordan Dwire should be the main guy again in this game, just like he was in the first 2 games. But with that being said, let's get into the second play. Second play is going to be, let's go to the Washington game. We could kind of go to any game we want because the games are kind of, similar timing right now. Or let's go to this Ole Miss game. Let's go to Lacy right here, and we're going to be taking Lacy over on his fantasy score at, I believe, 18.5 fantasy score for Ole Miss. He's playing Tulane. Tulane's running defense this year, not great. They're not the worst in the country, but they're not super far away from it. I mean, they played Duke, who had like running back average 4.5 yards a carry, so not great. And then they played South Alabama. South Alabama's running back also averaged around, like, I want to say 5 yards a carry. Again, not great at all. And then I forget who they played at the beginning of the year, but their running back averaged over 7 yards a carry, which is just unacceptable. And Tulane, with that bad of a run defense, going up against Kewan Lacy right here at 18.5 fantasy score, you can see he's gone over in his first 2 games. He crushed it this last game against Arkansas. He only had 44 rushing yards, which is horrible, and he still missed it by 0.1. So I love his fantasy line at 18.5. This is a guy that is, don't want to say guaranteed a touchdown, but this is a guy that gets a lot of goal line touchdowns. If he gets 2 touchdowns in this game against Tulane, especially because it's supposed to be a high-scoring game, Ole Miss is expected to score around 4 to 5 touchdowns in this game. If they do, I think Kewan Lacy's definitely going to get in the end zone at least once, if not twice. And if he gets in the end zone twice in this game, this play should be almost as close to a lock as you could possibly get. So hoping he gets in the end zone twice, definitely at least once. Ole Miss has their backup quarterback in this game, by the way, which they had last game. And in that last game, he actually had 4 receptions and 40 receiving yards, which is 8 points right there from the passing game alone. And then he's also projected to get about 90 rushing yards in this game. So he has a ton of upside. He could get 2 touchdowns. He could do it in the receiving game. He could do it in the rushing game. There's so many ways for Kewan Lacy to go over his fantasy score line in this game, and I just love the matchup against Tulane especially. So we're taking the over on Kewan Lacy, and we're going to go over to parlay play real quick because I'm going to show you guys throughout this video, again, like I mentioned at the beginning, the lines on parlay play, very good. They're basically the exact same as Prizepicks anyway, but more so their payouts are very, very good. So we're going to put Dwire and Lacy in right now, and we're going to see what that's showing. I believe Dwire is at like 89.5 receiving yards right now on parlay play, so 10 yards more, but that's not, I don't really worry about that. It wouldn't shock me if the guy gets 130, 140 receiving yards in this game. I'm not saying he's going to do that, but it wouldn't shock me because I do think this game is going to be a shootout. Right now, we're already seeing this is going to be, looks like a 4.6x play on Prizepicks. That's obviously a 3x play. So the payout already on parlay play is way better. Let's get into the third pick. That's going to be Michael Trigg, and we're going to be taking Trigg over his fantasy score at 8. This line, shocking to me. You're playing Arizona State. This is another game that should be high scoring, close scoring, somewhat of a shootout, less so than that TCU game, but should be somewhat of a shootout again. Obviously, he has one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Sawyer Robertson, who throws over 400 yards a game. Michael Trigg, if you have not watched his Baylor team, he is their main dude in the red zone. They love passing this guy the ball in the red zone. So if he scores a touchdown in this game, this line's already a lock at that point, and I would not shock me at all if he does score a touchdown because of how many red zone targets he gets. But even without a touchdown, he still is an amazing receiver for this team and one of, if not the main guys. In this first game against Auburn, he had 23 fantasy score. I want to say he had 11 or 13 targets in that game, something crazy like that. And then in this game against SMU, you guys can see it looks like he didn't do as well, but if you actually watch that game, he came out very early in the second half. So he had basically eight fantasy score in the first half of that game against SMU, and then came out against Samford. He didn't really have to do anything in that game, so he played, I think he came out in the second quarter. I mean, he didn't have to do anything. He is coming off of an injury, but he was coming off of an injury from the SMU game. So in the Samford game, he kind of got a lot of rest. He's had basically 2 weeks to rest at this point. I'm not really worried about his injury that much. So against an Arizona State team, when they score should be high scoring, should be a close scoring shootout kind of game. I think Michael Trigg could hopefully get in the end zone and cash that right away. And even if he doesn't, he's just going to basically have to get 4 catches for 40 yards, which should definitely do. I mean, he did that easily in the first game, did it in the second game, basically in the first half. So I like Michael Trigg a lot. Very underrated guy. He's as big as DK Metcalf, and he's playing tight end, which is also really, really stupid. So I like that right there. Last play we're going to get into. Jonah Coleman. Don't need to say too much on this one, guys. He's playing Washington State. They're atrocious. Don't get me wrong. I love West Coast ball. Used to live on the West Coast, so I really respect what they do over there. However, Washington State just lost to North Texas by about 50 points. Their run defense is the second worst I've seen in the entire country so far this year. They're not good. If you guys are Washington State fans, I'm sorry, but you guys understand you're not good at all this year. Washington, going against Washington State here should absolutely destroy them. Jonah Coleman has been playing out of his mind this year. He had 33 fantasy score and basically 45 fantasy score. He scored 5 touchdowns in this game, 2 touchdowns in this game. Another running back here that it would not shock me at all if he scores 2 touchdowns in this game. Like I just said, he just scored 5 touchdowns in his last game. If he can score 2 touchdowns in this game, I'm feeling pretty good about that play. But again, not too much to say. He could score 2-3 touchdowns in this game pretty easily, and he should also have well over 100 rushing yards against this bad of a Washington State defense. So I like Jonah Coleman a lot in this game. Let's go over to parlay play, man, and let's put this in, and I'm going to show you guys the payout on this. So Michael Trigg, we're going to see what he is. And Trigg right now should be at the exact same at 8 fantasy score, which he is right here. And then obviously Jonah Coleman, like I just mentioned, we're going to be taking his over on the fantasy score as well. So just come down here, put in the fantasy points, and you guys can see right here. So it looks like 1,200 or 16x is the payout, it looks like. So let's put this in. Let's put $100 down on this play. 16x. So they bumped the payout heavily on this one. So you guys can see if I put $100 on this play, on parlay play, it's paying out over 16x on Prizepicks. If I were to put $100 on this same play, it's paying out 1,000. So just because I'm putting this play in on a different app, it is paying me $600 more. If you guys can't wrap your heads around that and get on parlay play, I'm telling you guys, over the course of the year, slowly you're going to hit for $20 more here, $100 more here, $50 more here. Over time, that's going to add up, and you're going to be making a ton of more money just because of the app you're putting it in. So that's the best advice I could give you guys. It's very important what app you're playing on. So again, I'd highly recommend to put this play in on parlay play. 16x, you guys get the point. The links are down below for that. Lock it in. Use code GHOST. You get a $100 deposit match when you use code GHOST. So you get on the app that has the better payouts. And again, like I said, $100 to start off with, so really, really important right there. Links are down below. Just make sure to use code GHOST to get your free money on Parlay Play or Sleeper. With that being said, these are the 4 plays I got for you guys for these games on Saturday. Make sure to drop a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Other than that, good luck with our guys' bets, and I'll catch you next video.